Well, good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. It's Andy from Takeover Team. Hopefully, you know me by now. And we're going to do a rerun. Myself and Ryan had a fantastic conversation a couple of weeks ago before I went on holidays, vacation, as you guys call it in America. Unfortunately, yeah, we were having a conversation, but nobody else could hear us because we were blissfully unaware that, unfortunately, it wasn't broadcasting. So I played it safe and put it on Zoom today. Thank you all for joining us. Okay, so the gentleman I'm speaking to, if you don't know him, for a lot of people, it doesn't require any introduction, but there's still some people out there who probably or possibly don't know who who is Ryan Conley. You're joining us from Washington State, is that correct, sir?
Yes, just right out Seattle. Thank you for having me here today, Andy.
Yeah, awesome. And I've known, for benefit of anybody listening, I've known Ryan since I think I'm going to put an estimate of 2015. A friend of mine in Phoenix or in Arizona, down Arizona way, asked me to speak to Ryan about Bitcoin mining. I didn't know what Bitcoin was, and mining was something you did to get precious metals and coal and stuff like that. So I did listen to him, but it went way over my head. Now, unfortunately, I wish it hadn't gone over my head, but did plant a seed. And when it came to discovering about Bitcoin, the person I went straight back to was Ryan Conley, because the way I looked at it, he was talking about it way before anybody I knew. And it gave me a good idea of what it was about. So you did ask me this question. And before I shut up and let you do the talking, you did ask me this question the last time we spoke, and you said to me, Andy, did I make a difference to you? And you certainly did, as far as introducing me to Bitcoin is concerned. I mean, um, I've just been back from vacation in Spain, and everything I did on that holiday was on this, which is a WireX cryptocurrency debit card. And they accepted it everywhere. They get paid in Bitcoin. They didn't know about it. They don't even probably knew what one was. So as far as making a difference to me is concerned and my understanding of Bitcoin, you certainly did that, sir. So I'd like you to let everybody know how long you have been involved in, first of all, network marketing, if that's okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself, obviously, as well, please.
Thank you, Andy. And it means a lot to me to be able to help a lot of people out there with this, and to be able to have something that we're able to bring to other people's attention to really make a change in their lives. Because right now the world is in a massive transition. We have the opportunity to affect so many lives, helping people transition into these new systems out there that we're talking about today regarding cryptocurrency, and also FutureNet, which we'll be talking about, which is simply the next Facebook that pays the people in Bitcoin. And so just in my past, I got involved in cryptocurrency about a little over 5 years ago, or 6 years ago now it's been. And
Wow.
Started mining Bitcoin, and just the concept of a money that did not have, that wasn't going to be continued to be printed. I saw that as a game changer that would help the world get to the next level in our evolution process here. And about 6 months into mining Bitcoin, I started off with BitClub Network. Two Bitcoin miner friends contacted me, and they said, Ryan, we found the biggest thing ever. And we all get pitched to network marketing, especially being online marketers and stuff. And when we're doing good out there, a lot of people will contact us on a daily basis, about different opportunities out there. But I think it's really important for us to be focused on the things that are going to have the most effect and really help the world. And so they told me, they said, there's this thing called FutureNet, and it's the next Facebook that pays the people in Bitcoin. And immediately I thought to myself, this makes sense to have a platform that actually pays the people for once, instead of these social media giants like the MySpace and the Facebook making all this money. Yeah. I saw there had to be a solution simply in world hunger in Africa from people just communicating. To me, that made sense. And I also looked as an opportunity that where potentially I could sell, mining contracts, also as well, and tapping into a large database of Bitcoin users. So I came on board on this platform, and it was back then it was just very bare bones. And but in my first month, it really took off, and I found it very simple from a business standpoint in terms of duplication, very basic, because my pickup line was, have you heard about the next Facebook that pays the people in Bitcoin? And with those two keywords, Bitcoin and social media, we're talking about two of the biggest trends in the world today, probably if not the two biggest trends in the world taking place right now. And global communication coming together with cryptocurrency. And so FutureNet, beyond being just what I said, it is also the next uncensored and encrypted social media network as well. And this has a really good place. We're in a really good place right now to be part of this movement, because there's a lot of internet censorship, as everyone's becoming aware right now. A lot of censorship on the Google and the Facebook and the Twitters, and hashtag shadow banning is really going out through the social medias. And so people at this point are really looking for a better option out there. And I really believe that FutureNet has nailed it. I've been with them now for 4 years, and we're always looking for the competition, out there, because it's nice to be able to bring to market something where there is no competition, not just a health and wellness company where there's lots of competitors, not just another Bitcoin mining company when there's better coins out there to mine than Bitcoin nowadays. We only need one global communication system that the people own. And that's what they've created. And I feel very confident in this, because they did this with a force matrix compensation plan, which I noticed studying the different social media networks that try to achieve this before. It couldn't have been done in a binary. It couldn't have been done with an auto ship. And so FutureNet is, now we're at 3.2 million users, making some big progress right now.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on a couple of things there, which probably answer a couple of the questions. I mean, for anybody listening in here, this is truly a global company, and for anybody, I mean, $10, you're actually good to go. And actually, if we're so inclined, if somebody can't even get $10 to get, we can actually sponsor them in. We can actually give them a $10 voucher, which will literally let them start to earn, which is just amazing. It's a nice thing to do as well. And the other thing you also touched on was, again, it's just answering questions that obviously I was going to ask. I mean, FutureNet, unlike other network marketing companies, and you and I know this, like health and well-being companies, other networks, traditional companies, they're delighted if you're doing something else. They don't, they realize they're partly an advertising platform. So obviously you're going to be doing something else that you want to attract people to, even if it's just building your list, which is a very good thing. So there's a lot of freedom. It's not just the social media side of it. As far as the company is concerned, you've got freedom to be, handcuffed to these guys, and it makes it a perfect secondary business as far as I can see. Ryan, would you agree with that?
Yes, most definitely. There's a lot of people in multiple businesses. When you really ask them what they're trying to accomplish, all they're trying to do is make it that they can stay at home and be with their children and have a residual income and something to protect them through the later years and the retirement years. And social media, when you think about it, it truly is the union of the people. And what I love about this opportunity, Andy and Allison, is that we are not here to take people away what they're passionate about doing. There may be people passionate about selling the protein drinks or a human growth hormone product or other cryptocurrency opportunities out there. And FutureNet really embraces and uplifts those people, but allows us to connect for life. Like, I love knowing that for life, it's beyond the money. It's that it's very good to connect with people in a way that we share a common interest, right? We all have our own family lives, but for us to be able to come together in a way, not just making money, but in a way also to reinvent the system. And what I mean about that is like decentralizing the tech giants like the Facebook out there and creating a better system that can just be done better. And I've always lived by this saying, you know, if not this, then what is the saying? If not this, then what? It really makes me question what is the next best thing when we're discussing something like social media. And really, it's not just a uncensored, you know, or an encrypted platform, is one that returns the revenue back to us as an equal exchange of value for the time that we all personally put into this social media addictive culture world we live in today.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. I mean, again, it brings me to another question. You know, I've been posting recently because, you know, I've been involved in FutureNet for 2.5 years. But I'll be the first to put my hand up and say, yeah, I neglected it, went off shiny objects that unfortunately in certain cases led up blind alleys eventually, or ran into difficulties. But I've been leading primarily with, you know, the FutureAd Pro. Um, because it occurred to me, all these things that people are chasing around about and trying to get this return and passive incomes and things like that, they were just this has just been doing it for me, you know. And sometimes I'm a bit slow on the uptake, and sometimes it might take me 2.5 years to work it out. I'm just like, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? This has been doing it all along without fail. And however, what I would say is it's a multifaceted business.
Yes.
FutureAd Pro is a small part of it. The social media platform, and I know I'm not going to mention figures, but I know you earn way more from the social media platform than you do from FutureAd Pro, because quite sensibly to put a ceiling on that anyway. But it is a multifaceted business. It's backed by their own coin as well, which is successfully on seven network exchanges.
Yes. Sure will be on the right away here. So I have a coin. Let's touch base on the Futuro coin, if I may. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
There are a few things about Futuro coin, which is really makes this an amazing coin, is that first of all, we took this coin and forked off what's called the Dash network, and the Dash coin is in the top 25 cryptocurrencies, I believe, today. And that coin's been around for a good solid 2 years. But what that allowed us to do it allowed Futuro coin to have a 4-second proven transaction speed, and also a cost transfer of a half of a US penny is the cost of this. And that's right there, that beats Bitcoin hands down right away. And I think having where we are right now with cryptocurrencies is that there's a lot of coins out there that they have nothing really backing them at all, but you really can't put a price tag on a monetized social media network, and the ability as we move forward to have a messenger service where you can send, you know, funds through that, just like you could with WeChat, for example. You know, this coin, as you said, is on 7 different exchanges and also CoinMarketCap right now. So I think there's a very bright future with this coin and everything that FutureNet, the launch of the Futuro coin ATM machines that they have coming out, and all these good things.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you a favorite part of this business? You know, I did say it was multifaceted. I mean, the fact that they're just getting into a lot more things as we go along. It started out with like 2 different like revenue streams. Now there's a third, but then there's many ways in which these guys have got it right, and they can show all the revenue that these guys need to generate to fund all the other parts. It's all there. You know, Ryan, I'm seeing more and more things since I suppose I came back to FutureNet, seeing the sport thing. I'm seeing the foundation.
Yeah, you know, once you have the foundation about a monetized social media network, is that the scalability, you can basically add anything to this. We could sell anything that we want down the road with this. Like if FutureNet came out with their own health and wellness company, and products were selling through the matrix right there, and we're getting paid on that. We're just seeing a massive evolutionary process, I think, of consumerism, and we look at what the trends are. And, yes, today Amazon Prime is a really hot thing, but I think in the future, potentially we could be the next Amazon Prime beyond a social media network. And it can actually become, again, a distributed network where companies are coming to us and saying, hey, we want to sell your products through the network. And that way there's more of a relationship with our friends and the companies and what we put our name on out there to support that, what's taking place online. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I know that I unfortunately won't be there, but you're going to Macau in next month.
Yes, I will be there.
What effect do you think that's going to have on this company? Is another slingshot? Is it going to be like almost a second coming of this company if it was needed?
Yeah, right. That's the beautiful thing about this. I am just as excited as about this. Actually, more excited about FutureNet today than I was when I first started. It's just continue to grow on me and get better and better. And the CEOs never let us down. The wonderful staff at FutureNet, their customer support, they've really built a solid foundation. With their international offices and also the FutureNet cafes, the physical buildings that they're putting up right now to help spread the word about the coin. FutureNet, it seems like every single day they're coming out with things, whether it's sponsoring more things with FutureNet Sport. I think we're going to see, and this is where my heart at is really with all the charity work that FutureNet is doing. I mean, we have recently teamed up with the United Nations to go ahead and help end world hunger through malnutrition, working with the United Nations. I'm pleased to say that out of the nearly 3.2 million users on the platform, I'm the largest donor out of everyone out of the whole entire user base on this. So that shows like I'm very passionate about this for what Future brought into my life and what I've noticed it to do to so many people close to us. I really think that people are online looking for a way to get off of line so we can go back to spend more time with our families and stuff like this. And you really don't see me interacting on Facebook anymore. I don't believe in the concept, and I put my time and my money where my mouth is with this. I see that with the event that we're having in Macau, China right now with only 6,000 people, that's basically an increase of about 2,000 from our last event. But honestly, at this point, Andy, I'm pretty confident that if they would let these ticket sales, we could have packed a stadium of 20,000 people. And I really, truly believe that moving into the next year, that's what we're going to see. I'm that we'll see a user base of about 3.2 million users today go to 20 million users exponentially over the course of the next 18 months. Because these are what the social media companies do. And when it comes to network marketing companies out there, they always say, hey, once you hit 1 million distributors, or you become $1 billion company, then it's onward and upward. Well, FutureNet is $1 billion company now. We are $1 billion company. There's no question about that right now. And I could just go on and on. I think the sky's the limit. I think there's some surprises for us at that event, which I'm excited for.
Well, I had a friend. I think I mentioned this a lot. I did have a friend of mine. I'll not mention who it is, but he's a top leader, And I told him I was going to start focusing on FutureNet, and he said, "Oh, it's too late for that. That ship's kind of sailed." Now, I'll make a point of sending this recording to him. What would you say?
I'd say the ship is not sailed. I would say that you have the fattest cruise liner that just pulled into the harbor with the most high-end, the bells and whistles and the best food on board and the best entertainment and we're going to the best destination out there. We got the best on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly believe that, all hype aside, I have watched this company for nearly 4 years, and I remain focused on what I'm doing. Everyone's on their own course in life. Everyone, just like yourself, we're connected for life. If you deviate and go towards that and you find something, that's great. But at the end of the day, I do hope that this company is around forever so we can have this connection and it's so exciting to watch this take place right now. So I truly believe, to answer that question, that this is the perfect timing for this right now. It could, we've built this business to just 7 months ago, where the coin came in right now, and this coin is only getting started. the censorship with George Soros and stuff, not to get political on this at all, but there's a lot of political funding coming from George Soros as of last week into the Facebook and the Twitter, and we've known what's happened with social media and stuff. So I think it makes it very easy time to share with the world, and not just coming at a person to pitch a business opportunity, but to share something with someone that really resonates with them, regarding freedom of speech and internet privacy. That is what the people are looking for and deserve right now online.
Yeah, I think it's very, very prevalent, and very relevant right now. I think, and obviously had controversies with people's data being used for all sorts of purposes, and now on Facebook, etc. And it definitely ticks a lot of boxes there.
Yeah, another thing I would add also, I've noticed in the last 2 weeks, a higher caliber of people coming on board with us also. People that, like last night, I'm having phone calls with people that are like David Harris Jr. He's driving 1 million Facebook live views. He does some wonderful political things. I call him the next Black Sean Hannity. He came up with that, like we're talking about, and he's putting me on people that are driving massive traffic on their view counts, and people are really waking up and wanting to have an effect in the world, and we should have an effect on the world. I mean, that's how we leave a legacy. We don't just go ahead and make a paycheck and say, here you go, here's the money. No, you want to be able to know moving forward that, hey, that's what we did, that's what we were passionate about to make the world better.
So another question, if you don't mind me asking, obviously I kind of was in the same boat. I did hands up neglect what was the obvious thing in front of me, but I am seeing a lot of people, a lot of people I'm talking to, and the first thing they'll say to me, I'll say, "Oh, were you ever involved in FutureNet?" And I say, "Yeah, but my sponsor didn't help me, blah, blah, blah. Or we should join you guys, or whatever, or we should join you." Is it possible for that person? I think in the FutureNet itself, they can join multiple times, or
most definitely. And, I really do pay attention to my team, and I have 3 full-time assistants to help be there for my team. So I try to offer as much support for my team. And I really think that if you're going to bring someone into any business opportunity out there, you need, even if you do other things, you need to be there for your teams. And my teams know what I do out there. And so, yes, you can have multiple positions out there. I do have multiple positions underneath myself, and in different legs for different purposes, whether it's for a charity thing or if it's for a sports thing, or different aspects of life that I see, for my daughters and my mother and dad. And it's been a blessing for my immediate family. And it's been a blessing for so many.
Yeah, as long as I think FutureAd Pro is definitely only one account per household, but as far as the social media side, the matrix, etc., it doesn't matter. You can go, I'll join that person if they're going to be, if they're going to help me, I'll join them. And that's what I'm seeing. I am seeing a lot of people who, I think, I don't know what it was, but I think sometimes, which is why I'm trying to peel it like an onion, just peel away bits and layers of it as we go along, rather than just hit everybody with everything, because it'll just blow their minds. But there's so many income streams involved here, and I will be showing people how the matrix works as well, because I've done a couple of presentations on FutureAd Pro, and then I'll start delving into FuturoCoin as well. But I want to try and keep it simple, because I think maybe when it launched, it just blew people's minds. Because I think you just need to take one bit at a time and tiny steps.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so what I do is I bring people in for kind of a smaller amount within FutureNet, and I put them into a few facets of the multiple compensations plan over there. That way they're earning money, whether it's from the coin, or else with the matrix and stuff. And over time, it then becomes like you're popping popcorn. People wake up to how big this opportunity is. if they're busy doing something else, or they have something else going on in their personal life that keeps them occupied until they really wrap their mind around this opportunity. And also the beautiful thing about the force matrix is it's not just like a binary where you have people go down one side and it's like, well, you didn't get anything income from that at all. Because of the force matrix, people can fall underneath and plant, and I've seen some pretty substantial incomes coming in passively. Again, income disclaimer, these results are not typical, and I'm not even mentioning the dollar amounts that some of these people have made from passive income, truly passive income. But that's where I knew that we had something special right there, because when we all came onto Facebook, we all told a few people, and those people told a few people, and those people, and very quickly 3 told 3 told 3, 10 levels down in the FutureNet compensation plan, that equates to 88,000 people. And I can guarantee more than 100,000 of people have joined us in each and every one of us, basically.
Wow. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, I would definitely like to, maybe if you, work your strategy, and obviously we'll maybe delve into that another time, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, and we really wanted to just find out who my friend and imperious leader is. But yeah, for anybody listening, Ryan has been doing this since day one, and yeah, it's just I unfortunately took a couple of blind alleys and got distracted. And realistically, when I kind of look back, I just go right. That's what I'm doing. I'm just like, no more, no more. You go back to the guy I used to call Crypto Man. I just used to say, well, this is the guy I need to go to for information about cryptocurrency.
Team and the people that are, I look forward to meeting more people that join the team and join the mission at FutureNet. And I know we got a bright future ahead with this. And so I really appreciate you having me on today. Does any of the listeners have any questions at all, Andy?
I'll just open up. If anybody's got questions there, that would be fantastic. If you want to ask them, please feel free. I'll unmute you guys. There'll be a lot of people listening to this in a recording, so it might help them too.
Yeah, I guess for me, Ryan and Andy, it's more about time. How long are we looking at to be able to sort of get signed up, to get this thing going? As Andy probably knows, I'll look at various things.
Yeah.
It's really about, I've also got the day job, which I desperately want to give up and get into it. So it's, over time, what are we looking at to be able to become successful in the different areas within it?
For sure. So, Allison, I think that it's that FutureNet is going to get easier and easier to pitch as we go ahead and update the platform itself, the messenger service, and the mobile application as well. As they revamp this, I think it's going to be, we're going to feel even more confident in what we're presenting to people, and it's going to become even more of a no-brainer. It's been a blessing that we've been able to get this big with how even, it's slower right now than Facebook, for example. I would recommend someone such as yourself and other people out there that are looking to transition from their jobs to doing this. I mean, everyone wants freedom, and I truly believe that everyone deserves it. It's a nice thing, right? Like, life's too short. We need to have more time for our families. What I would recommend is having it like in your notes on your phone, whether you have an iPhone, you have your notepad on there or whatever, you save your notes on an Android or whatever, and just have a simple text thing that says, hey, have you joined the next Facebook that pays the people? I call these micro texts, okay? And that pays the people in Bitcoin. And I would recommend just copy and paste that as you're driving to work and sending it off to a few people that you care about on Facebook. But also, you want to be very selective of who those first 3 people that you bring on board on FutureNet. Okay, so if everyone would just be very selective of who those 3 people were, and coming out from a caring standpoint, I think that's where we'll have a lot of success right there, because each one of those first 3 people are going to get 1/3 of your business moving forward. And the same thing will apply to those people below them with the first 3 people that they get. So that duplicates 10 levels deep. The matrix is full just like that. And then we'll go back to the matrix, of 88,000 people, let's say it's 3 to 5 years from now or whatever happens here, right? But I would recommend that. And then also, I do have a default email I can send to Andy, so Andy can forward it to the people.
That would be great. Thanks. Yeah.
Yes, this is the email. Once they want some information, I just forward that over to them, and it really lays it down very simply, why this is such a big opportunity right now. And I just say, create a free account and just text me your username after, and then you have them in the system. Even if they don't pull the trigger right away and come on board as a paid member, at least you have them monetized right there, and you can circle back with them down the road and stuff. So if I could give you one more tip, Allison, on building the business as well, what I would recommend doing is search the Twitters and the Instagrams and the Facebook for the hashtag shadow banning. Okay, shadow banning it's called. That specific, not shadow ban. I think shadow banning has the most view count, the most uses right now. So if you reach out to those people, and then what I would have is a default micro text, as I call it again, and it says, hey, thank you for supporting the hashtag shadow banning, bringing awareness about there. I'd love to discuss with you about the world's first uncensored and encrypted social media platform that pays the people in Bitcoin. Could we set a time to talk? Here's my cell and my link. And you just have that. You just copy it, paste it when you're bored or driving down the road. Be careful. Don't do this in over 25-mile-an-hour zones.
We can't do it. We can't do it here, Brian. We just get you actually lose your license for we get 6 points. Serious.
Do it on your tea and crumpets break over there, Andy.
We're not allowed to do anything over here, but yeah, but yeah, we definitely get the point. I mean, I could do it when I'm walking my son to school on a daily basis, but yeah, no, okay, so you've kind of answered, as far as
I think if we all duplicate that energy right there, and it's not that we're necessarily putting down Facebook or anything like this or anything. They've done it to themselves with the shadow banning, and this is not going away. And I think if we strike while the irons are hot right now with that, we move as a team with that in mind, people are going to keep getting approached about FutureNet on that concept right there, and eventually those people will come on board with us.
Yeah, well, my plan is to try and keep you very busy over the next coming months, because I got a bit of catching up to do, and it's just all about momentum and focus, and I've just gone. I was away, as I say, last week, and it was just a time to kind of evaluate things. No,
well, hey,
blinkers on.
If it's a day off, or sometimes you need a week off, that's the beautiful thing about building this. We need to really live in a state of creativity and not just with dollar signs in our eyes. We need to be able to relax about the situation and understand when you work when someone works a full-time job and stuff, and they're not trying to come off as desperate, but relax in that state, that the minimal time that they have after work to put into it a home-based business. That's why this is the ideal opportunity, because we can duplicate this and that we have no competition out there. So I know that we're going to free a lot of people, Allison, and I'm always here for you if you want to reach out direct to me, any of your guys' teams.
Perfect.
Please feel free. I always respect the relationships and stuff, and I'm here to help you uplift you guys and build you guys up and spread FutureNet across the globe.
Well, I've just got a question here from Sunday. He's on the call. He's joining us from Nigeria. He just said, thanks for the explanations. What's the plan for Nigerians? Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of plans for Nigeria, and I spoke to Nigeria today, and I actually I paid for out of my own pocket to open the first Nigeria office down there. So we do have a FutureNet office in Nigeria. I got to get the city name for you, but it's down there. One of my team leaders, Victor's out there, and Nigerians are very passionate about this. My heart is with Africa. I see that FutureNet, with what they're doing with the United Nations in ending malnutrition, I think that's obviously a little bit more prevalent over there than it is in the United States, where we're all fat. I think there's a lot of opportunity in Nigeria, whether it's providing clean water or anything like this, and just we take global tech giants and we bring the money back to the people. The chips are going to fall where they need to. The future coins are going to fall where they need to. It's going to uplift people in social media. So I think we can have an immediate impact on Nigeria, and I love where their heart is. I mean, I have the other day I had an event in Nigeria and had 2,000 of my team members in a room on there. And I was like, dang, these guys are dancing on stage and they're practicing routines. And I'm not much of a dancer, but I applaud them.
Well, I'm just saying, no, as I say, we played it safe with Zoom, but Zoom's counting me down, so I've got like about 4 minutes left here. But I think that it's a good length, and it's enough of your time because I know you're pretty busy anyway, and I can see you're sat there in FutureNet USA Central, pretty much the banner, and I'll have to congratulate Ryan as well on he's just upgraded from his famous Mercedes Benz he got a couple of years ago. I think you've just upgraded a tad.
He just got me a nice new Range Rover from this.
Yeah.
That was FutureNet did that, and Facebook never paid me a lucky penny, so I'm thankful.
Exactly. No, I think people need to hear stories about that, and it's something that inspires. You've worked very hard for it, so 100%. Congratulations on that.
All I want to do was stand behind an opportunity. I think the world deserves us, so we're not getting our feelings hurt, having to rebuild businesses and not feel like, not feel insecure about a job, not needing us as much as a person income coming in, whether it's a brick and mortar business or an online network marketing business. And I know that FutureNet really has a very strong they really have a strong presence out there, and everything they do is top notch. If you search YouTube for FutureNet Sport and the FutureNet Foundation, see all the good that they're doing, all the sports that they're embracing and stuff like this. And here we are 4 years later. So I really encourage you all to dedicate more time to this and share it with the world.
You've got that. You're going to get that whether you like it or not, I'm afraid. So I'm going to. Oh, yeah, you'll just get fed up listening to my voice. Okay, mate. Listen, thank you very, very much, Ryan, for taking your time out again. And we got it right this time. We are recorded, and it wasn't just the two of us talking to each other. Much as I like to, we wanted to make it available for everybody. So, and thanks for the people who joined us tonight. And thanks for those who've been watching this on catch up. And have a wonderful remainder of your day, Ryan, and everybody else. And thank you very much.
God bless.
Take care, guys.